I'm Clarence Harper III, born in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been in Tucson for 30 plus years, and now I have a family. I've gone to school at Pima College and the University of Arizona. I have a family now, which is his name is Clarence Harper as well, and my grandson. And that's it.
Well, I am the great nephew of Janet Harmon Bragg. You've met my father. He was brought out here by Auntie in the late 70s after his graduation. I'd like to honor her and acknowledge her just by my accomplishments that I've learned over time, that my relationship to a part of history that is, she's contributed to with the Afro-American history, and it's just something that I appreciate the fact that I have that background, and I'd like to continue to pass that on to those I interact with, my students in my profession of teaching, and my kids as well. And I appreciate, and I feel as if I don't deserve to be here, regardless of where I'm at right now. But I appreciate the invitation that you put out to us.
So, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about how you came here to Tucson,
Sure.
And your relationship with your sister?
Yes. Actually, we were young in junior high. I was in junior high, and Auntie used to come to Cleveland because she was lived in Chicago, and she used to come to Cleveland during the summer, almost every summer. Or we'd go up to her house in Chicago, excuse me, and we'd stay there. And there's a lot of things we did because she believed in education, because she always wanted, hey, you guys read a book today? So that was her thing about reading, education. And during that time we're in junior high, she's taken my sister, would stay with her for about a couple of years. And she took her in first. My sister is youngest, but I'm the oldest of the Harpers. But she took her in, and she stayed there, and for a whole year, and then she came back. And then the following summer, after my sister came back to Cleveland, we went back to Chicago. All of us went to Chicago for the summer, and we stayed there for about a month during the summer. Then it was time to come back home, and she asked me, since I was, would you like to go to school in Chicago, in the Chicago area? And I kind of a little hesitated because I was missing my brother and sisters. That's right, So I said, well, I can try it. And she told me, hey, I can send you back to Cleveland if you want, if you don't like it. So I ended up staying there because she didn't want to put us through school. She put me through school. And the high school I went to was the Elgin Academy. And that's about 45 minutes from Chicago. So I spent about 4 years there at Elgin Academy. And after Elgin Academy, I graduated, and I ended up staying in Illinois because I wanted to go to college in Illinois. But there, my uncle's health, they wanted him to leave Illinois to come to Arizona. So they moved down and packed up everything and moved to Arizona, so I moved with them. So
I believe it was the dry climate was the main reason.
He had bad arthritis, so he wanted to come here, and he felt he had a new life with himself like that. So, and I am staying here, and here I am. So I enjoy it. I mean, she, like I said, it was an education thing, and both of them taught me a lot, of not being a gentleman. I know I was going to be a gentleman anyway, but is mostly education, and I try to teach that to my kids. And I think my kids learned more than I did. So that's that part.
Growing up, you know, and kind of not necessarily recognizing the accomplishments as a younger person. It was only until I got out of school that I knew that I wasn't living up to the expectations that my auntie had set forth for her family members. Education was definitely a big thing. She put my father through school, but she also put me through school at St. Michael's in All Angels. It's located on the east side of town. And there I was able to get a different perspective of just life in general, meeting new people, meeting people with affluence and backgrounds that I wasn't aware of or didn't have, and it was good to know and good to learn. And she, you know, she instilled those values in me that hard work will pay off. Hard work is necessary to attain success or just even attain happiness in life. You know, I'd like to think that she and all the people around her were maybe founders of growth mindset. And that is one of the ideas that a lot of colleges now employ and counselors speak about in schools, and just growth mindset as a whole is something that everyone, you know, has the ability to develop, and it takes a little bit of time, and it took me time to understand what I had and what I could contribute to other people, and you know, in the fact that, you know, my father allowed me those opportunities by being there every day, by working every day, me seeing those things that my auntie instilled in him followed through and were instilled in me growing up. And I appreciate that very much, and it's something that I'm trying to pass on to my kids, but also not only my kids, but those, again, like I said, I work with in my profession. And you know, she is, you know, she's someone who is still very influential in my thinking and in my classes, where I keep her spirit alive just through my activities that I do with her, about her in my classes during Black History Month, on her birthday, and just trying to keep her memory alive as much as we can. Yes.
So, what did you know about her being the first female pilot in the United States with a license, being licensed as a pilot?
Well, she, this is later in life, she told me, I guess when I was in high school, she said she was did you know that I was one of the first Black woman pilots on the commercial airlines, and she started everything down in Tuskegee University, and I didn't know that. I mean, it was all in my mind, you know, and maybe I was a little naive, you know. You hear things when your parents or your grandparents will tell you about things, and you go, oh, okay, but it's going to stick with you a long time. But each time, you know, she talked about her success, and at that time that she, you know, that not many Blacks get a chance to do this, but she really worked hard to get into it. She didn't really care, so she kept doing it, even though they say no or they are shaking their head about it. But she still really, I want to say, just she was determined. What she did. So she said she never let anything stop her. So that's the part that she told me about, you know, what she knew about being a pilot and And on the, I mean, I was proud of it. I mean, when she was telling me, I said, really? Okay. And I mean, that's all I really know that far back of that, what she told me. So.
I was well aware of her accomplishments as a young person. Her Arizona room was set up with a lot of plaques and awards that she received. During her time growing up, living with her, like I lived with her for quite a while, and you know, having her daily expressions and ideas, you know, given to me, it was kind of fun, but at the same time, you know, I didn't understand, you know, a lot of the things that she wanted for me. But perseverance and determination were definitely huge assets that she had because of, you know, what she accomplished in life, being the first African-American woman to own an airplane, but also to receive a commercial pilot's license. Wasn't the first African-American woman to receive a license. That belongs to Bessie Coleman, but she had to leave the country. And, you know, I was aware of that, and it was something that she spoke about very often. I was able to also meet Chief Anderson when he came out here in, I want to say, 1991. Rosa Parks, who came out here for a speech that she gave in '91 as well. I was able to meet her. So just my proximity to my auntie allowed me to at least have those meetings with people. Not necessarily long meetings, but just an introduction and a handshake, which was, I would like to say, very, very exciting. And to know that I shook a hand of history is something I'd always appreciate. Not too many people had that opportunity or will ever have it. You know, I'd like to say that I took advantage of that and took advantage of the knowledge that she instilled in us, and just trying to continue with that, working my way up in education as far as I can as well.
Well, I'm going to be honest, I really don't know my grandparents. A lot of them passed away when I was real young, probably 1 or 2 years old, maybe 3. I really never knew my father or my mother's their parents. They just talked about them, and that was it. But my mom was my auntie's niece, and it was almost like mother and daughter, and she pretty much brought her up right along with my other aunt, my mom's cousin. They're really close. And so, but I really never, like I said, I never met or of her parents. My grandfather, grandmother, never knew. And she possibly could have been adopted. And so I just don't know a lot of the history. I haven't gone back that far. Trying to look up the history of my grandparents. I don't know, maybe my parents didn't really talk about that much. My mom didn't talk about that much. But now, I mean, I'm getting older, and now the things are coming out like ancestries, stuff like that. Now people are doing that, and now, so my son even told me, he said, well, you ought to check in your history. So I've been doing that, trying to get into the history, trying to find my mom's mom, grandparents, period. So, but again, that
history is very clouded.
Yes.
I'd like to say that I am aware that my grandmother was adopted by her brother. I know that Auntie's mom was someone who worked for a family that didn't want, I guess, the kids to read. So her mom would sneak books out to try to help her 2 kids read, which was you know, his grandfather and Monty or auntie. And, you know, reading, again, going back to that was very important to her. And this was something that she expressed to me. Growing up, I was very curious when I was younger, so I would ask a lot of questions. She had a lot of pictures in her home. You know, a picture I remember well was just how it was an old photo, black and white, maybe the camera that shot smoke in the air when the flash went off. And she had stabbed her brother in the eye with a pencil on that picture because she was upset at him for something that had happened. It was a fun story for her to tell, and just seeing her laugh about it and talk about it was good to know. You know, again, we don't have too much background in our history. I know that African American history is very clouded because of the differences in families, the separation of families at times. She was born in the early 1900s, so her mom, you know, was formerly a slave, and again, our history and our background is not necessarily something that we're very aware of, and it'd be something that we'd like to find out more about. And you know, that it's kind of hard for us to speak on that just because of our you know, unawareness of those things. I know that my father's family hails from Florida, but also Georgia, where Auntie comes from. So those are some things that we're just trying to find out for ourselves as, you know, as time passes and we have the ability to find these things out with the ancestry, the DNA searches and things like that. If Skip Gates was around, we'd love to find, you know, that'd be beyond the scope of what we could do. But I know that just listening to Mr. Gates, it'd be great to have something like that to help us out, to know where we came from and things like that. And I know that'd be helpful for a lot of other folks. Excuse me.
It's just that, well, son seems like he knows a little bit more than I do. I mean, I talked to my auntie. We talked. She told me some things about, you know, maybe I didn't dig deep and ask, hey, what, because I think he knows a little bit more than I do on certain things of my auntie, about her brother adopted my mom and her cousin. And I guess as an older adult, I probably didn't ask so many questions, and maybe she didn't want to ask, so I kind of like was quiet about it. And unless she was in a really good mood, then I'll ask more things. But other than that, I really don't ask too many questions, I guess. But I'm glad that my son dug deeper than I did. You know, I guess I'm gonna. He's a better question. Ask questions better than I did. You know. So, but I still knew that she was always with us on certain things that you want to do. You know, you want to. Let's put it this way: she didn't want us to be sitting around the house playing video games, which we didn't have anyway. But either go outside, find something to do, or read a book like that. Or she sent me to summer school a lot. Well, during my time in high school, when I came home, because I went to a boarding school, Elgin Academy, and when I come home during the summer, I would go to summer school somewhere at the University of Chicago. They had summer school there. Or she would have her friends, I would go to her friend's house because they were teachers. So I would go there for summer school, you know, for a week or 3 weeks, whatever. I would go there. It was not a year, not a summer that I would miss going to summer school. So I went to summer school all my 4 years in high school. So there was no lounging around. We'll take a vacation, but pretty much 90% of the time is education. But she liked to have fun, though. She still liked to have me. She didn't want me to have fun. She don't mind me playing sports, but anything cross her, you don't want to really talk about any sports with her like that. So that was my thing. That was it for that.
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to express our our honor for our auntie. You know, I know it's kind of, it wasn't as clear and consistent with our responses and stuff like that. So I just wanted to, again, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, me as well. I mean, I appreciate being here and talk about the history, what I've known anyway with my aunt, Janet Bragg, and had my son, and I mean, down the history of it. So I hope when I'm gone, I hope they can carry on with it. So bring out more. So with that.
Okay, well, thank you gentlemen so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.